Yo, this thing on?
It
It's
is
on?
on. It is on.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
ready.
Oh,
You're
oh,
there. You're
oh,
there. You're
I'm
there.
excited.
I know it's just both
It's
of us.
Tuesday, man.
It is Tuesday.
Hey, man.
What we
I
going to
love
do? What we
Mondays
going to
and I
do?
love
What we going to
Tuesdays.
do? What we going to do?
Tell you what we gonna do. We fired up off this geek shit, man. That's what we
I
gonna
know it.
do.
We are. Is that what we're going to do?
Yes. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we know summer's out today.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
she is. She
Yeah.
is. But you know what? In honor of her, we're gonna make sure we give a fire show,
Fire
hot
show. I know
magma.
it.
You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
Hello, nerds, and welcome to Geekbeast, part of the Geekish Network. This is your daily rundown of geek news from geeks like you, geeks like me,
Yeah.
geeks like the man that's
Yeah.
sitting here co-hosting the show with me. What's up with you, Chuck Charles?
What's going on, Syntell? I'm just trying to be you when I
Senor
grow up.
Black Lion. What? You
I'm
bring
trying to
it
be
all
like
together,
Syntell.
man.
Let me tell you about Syntell. He questioned my falsetto until I had to go into the Muppet rendition of do do do
Oh,
do, and he was like,
see,
"Yeah, he knew it was great." Then
you know what I'm gonna do now? Now that you brought that up, I'm
what are you
gonna go
gonna
ahead
do?
and set you up.
What are you
Check
gonna
this
do?
out.
What are you gonna do?
Mana.
Do, 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 do,
Mana.
do, 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 do. See, told you I got perfect Muppet
Oh
falsetto,
man,
baby. Nailed it.
yo.
100%.
See,
100%. I'm on it.
this is what goes down on this particular show. See, and if you're new to the show, we cover the geek news beak and share our opinions with
Yes.
you, including crazy falsettos from old Muppet throwbacks.
Old Muppet
Yeah, I
throwbacks.
am your host, Syntell, and I am sitting here with Chuck, the
What's
Black
up,
Lion.
everyone? What's going
Yo,
on? The black line. I'm gonna put that tattooed on me. Get the black line
bruh,
tattooed on my back.
my man, you should,
I
because
should. I should so
everything
do.
everything connects to you, man. You are the secret sauce of all this amazingness, man. If it's not
Your
for you,
check
it
is in the
doesn't go
mail.
down.
Your check is in the mail. See what this man. Listen to this man. I'm not that important.
Yes, you are. Hey, but you know what though? Speaking of checks in the mail, I love, one of the things I really love is just seeing our kindred folk, our kindred spirits
Mm-hmm.
get their checks in the mail. And it's looking like
Yes,
Regina King is about to get another check in the
I
mail.
know it. She goes. She'll get so many checks. I'm gonna wife her. Talk about it. Speak on it.
Yo,
Speak on it.
oh my gosh, she's legendary with it right now, right? So
Mm-hmm.
she's set to direct the comic book theme Bitterroot, if I
Mm-hmm.
remember right. Yes, it is Bitterroot. I just want to make sure I'm saying it right.
Mm-hmm. Bitterroot.
Um, yo, it's just our time,
Yeah.
and now Regina is stepping up to the plate. She's already an acclaimed an Oscar nomination
Mm-hmm.
for One Night in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and now she's going to do this adaptation from Image Comics,
Yep.
which focuses on oh my gosh, the Sangayers, the Sayers. Oh my god, I'm
Singers.
pronouncing their
Yes.
names.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's
focus
something
on
like
the
that. Yeah.
and it's a family of monster hunters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So according to the press junket that I'm kind of like halfway reading this off of, it says per Legendary's announcement for generations, the Sangarians have hunted and cursed those infected by a supernatural force that feeds off of prejudice and transforms humans into monsters. But with most of the family gone, the remaining Sangarians disagree over who they should be saving and who they should be killing in terms of the monsters. So this is going to be like a live action, from my understanding.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. I think it's gonna be a live action. I think they're not gonna animate it. I just hope they put the money in the visual effects budget that we really want to see.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want
I'm
the
with you on that.
supernatural on steroids.
Yo, and then like yeah, I'm with you on that too, man. And this is coming like right
Mm-hmm.
off the heels off of a couple other things. So we got Neo DaCosta.
Yep.
She is going to be doing the Marvels. And Gina
Yep.
Prince is who just did the Old Guard
Yeah.
that came out last summer, I
Yeah.
believe. So
Yeah.
it's like black directorial sisters out here like
Holding
killing
it
and
down.
crushing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I
Mm-hmm.
think what you said is really important, man. I hope they throw a good necessary amount of money so that
Yep.
it can
It
we
can
can get the
shine
best
and
version of the
the best
story.
version. Yeah. I hope they attach some really strong writers to it,
Mhm.
and they just knock it out the box. Like make this work. You
Yeah.
know.
Let me
This.
ask you a question though, man. Let me
Mm-hmm.
ask you a question because there's a little controversy that's been going on regarding this type of content, right? When it
Mm-hmm.
comes to black bodies being put in compromising positions.
Yeah.
People making a lot of money off of black pain. Let's just put it bluntly.
Yeah, black
And there was
trauma. Black trauma.
black trauma, and there was an
Mm-hmm.
article that came out in your neck of the woods, the LA Times,
Mm-hmm.
had made an article, and it kind of shines some light onto it. Now,
Yep.
I'm excited about this project that's coming out, but do you think that it's feeding into that narrative?
I hope not. I hope they take a different stance. I hope it's not feeding into black trauma, but it exposes prejudice. Because there's a way to expose prejudice and racism and stuff without black trauma.
Right.
You don't always hit the rely on black people. Black people are the only ones getting prejudiced against or prejudiced for or being receiving racism. And you don't have to use the black white example over and over again. I mean, we live in America. There's tons of examples out here. Hell, you don't actually have to use white people for those examples. You can just use people. And there's ways to do it. I mean, you can use monsters, you can use aliens. There's ways to relate the type of things that people go through that live in systemic racism, built on a system that's based in racism. It's not just systemic racism; it's a system built on racism. You know, there's Exterminate the Brutes on HBO right now, and it's magnificent. Episode 1, I was shaking. I have not shaken watching the documentary, and it's just the coldness of the voice when he's explaining, the auteur is explaining things to you. I forgot his name. It's amazing. It's an amazing show.
Okay. All right. You definitely put me on to something. I'm gonna
Exterminate the Brutes.
Okay. There is an interesting piece of news regarding this project, and that is Ryan Coogler, and I want to believe somebody in Ryan Coogler's family. I don't want to assume that it's his wife. It's another Coogler, are tied to the project as well. So to me, when I hear Coogler's name, I immediately think like quality. You know?
Yes, he's earned that. He's earned that. He earned his flowers with that. Even though if it's not written well, he makes a quality film.
Right.
You know?
So maybe if you're in the chat, the other Coogler's name is Zinzi Coogler. I don't want to assume what the relation is with Zinzi and Ryan, but I just know just that last name carries a lot of weight. So it's a respectable name in cinema.
It's so funny. He went from Bruce Bell Station to this respectable name in cinema. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, man, there's lots of rapid growth going on with that.
There is.
Speaking of respectable cinema, let's kind of like turn it on its head and talk about disrespectful cinema. And that is
guess what? She is expecting her first child with her husband, Ryan Coogler.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm definitely a fan of Black Love and that 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Get it together. You know, build it. I hope they become like billionaires off of their future endeavors. You know?
Hell yeah. I hope it works for them. Hope it works for them. Yep.
So speaking of a little bit being a little disrespectful, my man Zack Snyder was interviewed recently on some show called Jake's Take. Well, anyways, they had asked him because he's got a new like zombie movie coming out.
Yeah. It's Army of something, right?
Yeah.
It's on Netflix, right?
I think it's a Netflix special, right? But it's gonna have a theatrical release to go along with it. But that's not the news. The news was that, like, as any good journalist, they dug a little bit deeper and was like, hey, so what's going on with the other Zack Snyder projects? And Zack was pretty much like, nah, bruh, Warner Brothers ain't feeling me. To quote it from him, he says that Warner Brothers has been aggressively anti-Snyder, if you will.
Wow.
He said, what can I say? Clearly, they're not interested in my take. But I would also say that they certainly weren't interested in he said, but I would also say that they certainly weren't interested in, I would have said originally, I don't know what that means, in my take on Justice League. So let's just sorry about the typo. Let's just say that Warner Brothers ain't feeling it.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? Because the Snyder Cut put them back on the map with the Justice League. Like, the DCU is getting beat up. And don't get me wrong, Zack Snyder's had enough misses. He has a lot of beautiful misses. Like, his air balls are beautiful. The form is amazing on those air balls. You think every air ball is going to go in. He misses everything. But they're beautiful. You can't knock the man's form. He got a pretty game. He ain't scoring no points, but he got a pretty game. and then the Snyder came out and it was like, oh, he scored some points on this. And I had my take on it. You know how I feel about the Snyder Cut. You know exactly how I feel about it. But I understand Zack. I get him. I'm like, okay, they're showing all this hate, but I brought y'all back on the block. You know, I brought
Yeah.
Jenny back on the block, and her name is Justice League. I brought J Lo back. What are y'all talking about?
It seems odd because you think like even if they feel some kind of way about him as a director, like money
Mm-hmm.
is usually the deciding factor,
Yeah.
and not even not necessarily just the currency of money, but the currency
Mm-hmm.
of attention. And one of the reasons, in case you've been like living under a rock, that one of the reasons why the Snyder Cut is so important when it gained attention is that it was pushed by the fans. You know, the hashtag "Give us the Snyder Cut" gained so
Yep.
much momentum that it just became almost like a household name. Hey, quick shout outs to N Favorite out there in the
Yeah.
chat.
And
Yo,
favorite. What's up?
this dude is has been a legendary supporter.
Yeah.
By all means, man, you know, me and Chuck, we over here shooting from the hip. So if there's something you want us to talk about real quick,
Yeah.
just give us an idea, man, and you know, we'll jump on it. So let me get back to Zack Snyder real quick. So what did you think about the zombie cut? Army of the Dead. Thank you, Nick Favorite, for letting us correcting
What
us
I
on the
think
name
about the
of that.
Snyder Cut? I,
No, Army of the Dead.
I'm
Let's kind of change gears.
excited about Army
It
of
looks
the
fun.
Dead. It looks so much
Yeah.
fun. It is gonna be the new Fast and the Furious for me with zombies.
Okay.
I'm gonna tune into every single last one. Army of the Dead 1, Army of
Yeah.
the Dead 2, better zombies, Army of the Dead 3, more zombies, and Army of the Dead 4, more zombies, more problems. Whatever they make, I'm gonna tune into every one. I am so on this ride.
It
I,
looks so over the top, man, and
it's
that's what I
this in
want.
Zombie Land. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
These are my zombie franchises. People are like, you don't watch Walking Dead? I said, no, because it's not about zombies. Zombies are whatever they want them to make them to be in those movies, those
Yeah.
episodes. It's about people with bad communication skills. And that angers me because I have great communication skills.
Yo, hey, so speaking of communication, man, I'm gonna pass the torch to you because I want
Mhm.
you to school me on what's going on with this X-Men Hellfire Gala. You
Oh,
talked to me
man.
briefly about it, man, but you know, give me the details.
Okay.
What's going on with
The
that?
X-Men Hellfire Gala
Mhm.
is the new comic book coming out. It's the one where what's his name? Colossus looks sexy in it. Where everybody
Oh,
looks
I
sick.
remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Where he
yeah,
look like
yeah. Oh,
Drake. He look
sexy
like Drake.
Colossus.
He like Russian Drake in it.
Yeah.
His high face, the lion beard, and so apparently it's a thing for murder. It's all the mutants got together. They're gonna have a gala. They're like, "Fuck it, we're gonna have a gala to celebrate us, and we're gonna have real life celebrities." So apparently, in this comic book, real life celebrities are gonna be featured in this comic book, which is kind of shocking to me. I'm kind of like, "What's going on here?" So you may have a guest appearance by Drake, maybe Kim Kardashian, maybe you don't know. You never know
Kanye
who
might show
Kanye,
up.
Michael B. Jordan may show up, not as Killmonger, but as Michael B. Jordan. You never
Right,
know.
right.
You
No, but
never
how
know.
meta would that be if Michael B. Jordan
It
shows
would
up
be
as
amazing.
Killmonger, but as Michael B. Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan that played Killmonger in the movie. That'd be so
Yeah.
meta. But apparently in this gala, somebody dies and it's a horrific murder. And then a revelation is made about the mutination that can divide the mutination in half. Not the
Hmm.
Xavier and Magneto divide, but
Right.
it's a divide that makes Magneto stand on one side of it versus
Okay.
all the other mutants and apparently in the group of mutants that follow him. So this is going to be even more interesting, right? Because you have this
Right.
old World War II mutant who is, a foil for Malcolm X.
Hmm.
And a murder happens at an event where all of them are celebrating themselves.
Right.
And it splits that world in half, mutant kind. And it makes me think when they do introduce mutants in MCU, how they're going to introduce them with the gala. Because that's going to be interesting if they go that route. And that's
Hmm.
not a bad route to go because you're already introducing live elements in this gala, like the Met Gala.
Right.
Why wouldn't you allow Magneto to come in and to divide the nation when they come in?
Hmm.
You know?
Well, it's definitely got me interested. There's been a couple of memes that's been going around. Maybe you've seen it. It's the one, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's Charles Xavier and what's his name that runs the Fantastic Four? Oh my gosh. I can't think of the leader of the Fantastic Four.
Oh my God,
Reed.
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 Yes, yes,
Yeah, Reed Richards. Sorry, I can't even. I'm
yeah.
sorry, I can't think. My geek brain's a little all over the place. And the meme is going around because apparently he whispers something in Xavier's ear, and then walks around, and then like Black Twitter, Black Geekdom, Blurredom has just been taking it and just running with
Of
this
course
meme.
they are.
Is that in that same? Is that the same book? Is that what
I
I'm?
don't think it is. I think it's different because
Right.
the current team of mutant investigators from Leah Williams, acclaimed run
Okay.
on X Factor 10, will play a big part of it. So X Factor 10, issue number 10 to pick up in the gala tie-in.
Okay.
And it says, when has Magneto ever allowed bureaucracy to get between himself and what's just? In
Yeah.
the island
Okay.
paradise of Krakow, safe haven and home of mutants, Magneto's hard-fought greatest desire of seeing his people at peace and thriving has finally been achieved. But Magneto's loyalty extends only as far as it is first earned. So after the Hellfire Gala, when he learned that even a paradise could still be filled with lies, the trial of Magneto will begin.
Okay. I'm interested. Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
curious.
It sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Um.
nice to see them all dressed up for this
Yeah.
gala and playing, real roles of people that are not in costume the whole entire time. So it's gonna be really nice.
So yeah, expect everybody to be dressed to the nines. There may or may not be a lot of action, but I'm sure the dialogue is going to be absolutely spiffy. Big shout out to In Favorite again. Oh, my man is he's one of those cats that deals with behind the scenes when it comes to television, music videos, commercials, and stuff. And sometimes he gets these like amazing opportunities. And he got a chance to do like one of those AR walls that they use in The Mandalorian. So hopefully one day, relatively soon, man, I would love to hear your side of things. Mr. In Favorite. I just wanted to just give a quick
Yeah.
shout out to him again, because supporters of the craft that actually do the craft.
Yes,
So
yes,
you
and
know,
that's
that's
part
it.
of the part of the mission of the Geekish Network is to have a AR wall, and actually have the virtual production set, so we can teach people of color how to work in these sets because it is the future of everything.
Hey man, what would be what would be a set piece that you would first want to like tinker around with if you had that AR wall?
Oh man, that's a good one. Never ending story.
Oh, that is a good one.
Yes,
That
never
is a
ending
good one.
story. A
Oh
remake the never
man.
ending story would be amazing. It probably doesn't deserve a remake, but it deserves
Uh,
a remake.
whatever
Or
reason I thought about.
Gremlins.
Oh, Gremlins would be good. You remember that old Disney film, The Last Starfighter?
Yes.
I would like to see that. Like, I would
Yes.
like to play around with that as an AR wall. That would be kind of cool. But
Mm-hmm.
Gremlins, dude, that's a really good one, man. I'm feeling that one.
Especially the love of Grogu.
Yeah.
All Grogu is Gizmo. I'm just messing around. Gizmo. I'm messing around. Grogu's badass. I love Grogu.
Hey, we'll change gears real quick because we like to like bang some of these
Yeah,
topics out and
yeah,
keep
yeah.
it hot and fresh.
Yep.
Okay, so there's chip shortages all around the world, and pretty much anything electronic is like at an absolute standstill, right?
Yep.
And to make things even worse, if you are a gamer, that means that most of the next gen consoles and systems that you've been trying to get are just absolutely unavailable. And one of the biggest culprits and hardest ones to get is the PlayStation, and then right next to it is the new Xbox. But Xbox announced today that they're going to give anybody that previously already has an Xbox One a better opportunity in order to get the systems by putting themselves into their own personal raffle based only off of people that own the systems. How do you feel about that?
I'm actually whatever it takes to get the system in people's hands because we're at the bot war too, so people are botting it.
Yeah.
Because PlayStation, another article that we have coming up next, I actually pushed it up next, was PS5 says that this shortage is going to go into 2022.
Yeah, that's
So,
another piece of news in
so,
case
so if
you don't know what's up.
the shortage is not going to be on one console. It's going to be across the board, right, for everything. And so, whatever these publishers and console makers have to do to get these consoles in the hands of the fans,
Right.
I'm tired of people buying and buying it and overselling overpriced, manipulating people in the middle of a pandemic. Like people should be happy at home right now playing PS5 or Xbox Ultimate Game Pass because the Game Pass is amazing. Both
Right.
consoles have their pluses and minuses, and they deserve to be in people's hands. Because what all happens is people that own bots are just going to keep buying them and just stockpiling them until the shortage is over. And we don't know when the shortage is going to be over because PlayStation made the foolish mistake of telling analysts, "Hey, we're going to be short to 2022." If I'm a botter and I have bots and I'm going to scalp these systems,
Yeah.
I'll just keep buying the 2022. I just ride
Yeah.
2021 all the way out.
But you know what? This is what I think is really cool about this system too. And I agree with everything you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this approach is really dope
Mm-hmm.
because it's showing love and loyalty to the people that have shown
Fans.
loyalty to you, the fans, people that
Mm-hmm.
previously bought the system.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, how they're gonna like pull that name out of a hat, but if your Xbox, which has its own serial number, is the only ticket that you can get to represent you, the only way that you can cheat the system is to cheat different serial numbers, right? And
Yep.
that's just not a very
Yep.
profitable way to go about the bot system. So I don't know
Uh-huh.
how that translates
Or
into other
or
spaces that sell online, but I'm feeling this.
you know what they should do? Send emails out in the message set app to people that are playing their Xboxes. You're playing Xbox One. You put in over 100 hours. We're gonna give you an opportunity to buy the console.
That's a
Here's your
really good
ticket.
idea. Hit people live, right? And be like,
Yeah.
hey, while
Hey.
you're in the middle of this
Hey.
game, you want to
Yeah.
be enrolled in this, and
Yeah.
it reward loyalty, man. I love that.
Yeah, and PlayStation may want to think about that as well. Like, hey, we understand you're playing on the PS4, you're playing the hell out of these games. Would you be interested in buying a PS5? Here's your opportunity. You can give one opportunity to everybody that comes on. Just roll them out one by one, and you're playing the game. We know you're playing the game. We see that you're active. It's so you can't bot game plan.
Right.
You can
Yeah,
see if there's
that's
movement.
what I'm saying.
You can
That's
see if
great.
achievements are being earned. You can see
Right.
that. You just make some wild equation, data equation, and just use it and derive insights from it, and make the variables. This person's playing, and we know this person wants to buy a PS5. This person's bought so many games on the network. This person's played so many games on their consoles. Let's give them an opportunity to buy it.
Yeah, I everything you just
It
said,
beats the
man.
bots. It beats the
Reward it.
bots.
It
Reward
does.
it. Mm-hmm.
We just need to figure out a way that we can get that into other areas of industry where they don't have the technology to verify it. I don't know,
Like the
but I'm,
sneakers
I,
app.
yeah, you beat me to it. You saw my inner pain, right?
I saw it.
Hey, but you know what?
I saw it.
Speaking of shortages, because I want to make sure here at Geek Beast, one of our favorite parts is looking in the chat and talking to everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
favorite has just been dropping gems. You're gonna have to school me on this a little bit because I'm still wildly ignorant to the whole story regarding the gas line shortages. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because I know it has something to do with somebody hacking some computer that's eliminated some of the gas line shortages. So the East Coast is reeling while everywhere else is kind of like, okay. I've been seeing all kind of crazy videos. I saw a video of this lady with like one of those plastic grocery bags walking up to the gas pump and filling the plastic bag up with gas.
Wow, that is
It's getting
crazy.
to that point. People are like
No,
getting like those big drums and
yeah, I
pulling
saw
up, like,
that. I saw
bringing
that.
that. So I don't know all the details of what's going on with it, but it seemed like a geek-worthy topic because it's dealing with hackers.
So
Do you?
apparently, I don't know much about it. I saw it came across my timeline too, my
Right.
Twitter, and the Colonial Pipeline shut down. So the Colonial
Okay.
Pipeline is a huge pipeline where they move gas through it, and somebody hacked it and shut it down,
Mm.
and they don't know how to get it back up and running yet.
So
So
is it one of those things that this is going to be like a long-term problem that's going to
I
last in
don't
the
think so.
winter, or is it just going to be like I'm just going to be inconvenienced for like the next month or so?
It was a weekend shutdown, a major petroleum pipeline, and there was a ransomware for it. So hey, y'all had a hole in your pipe in your software. We'll give you back your gas if you pay us this ransom. They ransomed it all for them. The
Oh
FBI is
wow.
blaming the group Dark Side. So the group Dark Side is supposedly responsible for it, but it shut down the gas supplies across the East Coast,
Hmm.
which people are waiting for hours or more trying to get in the filling stations because people freaked out.
Yeah.
You know what's supposed to be happening though?
What's
Keep
that?
your ass at home. We're in a pandemic.
Yeah. But you know what? This might actually help because
Mm-hmm.
there's because of the summertime rush, everybody thinks that the pandemic is over and they're going to be hitting the streets, and you got to
Yep.
travel, and maybe this can put a slow that down with the hiked gas prices, because there may be a bit of a silver lining.
Yep.
Obviously, we don't
Yep.
want our infrastructures hacked. But speaking
But
of that,
more what?
this is kind of a bit of a time. Oh, finish your thought, brother. Finish your thought.
This shows that there's vulnerabilities around these decade old systems. Like a lot of these systems are decade old, and we in our government, our federal government, and our state
Mhm.
governments at the same level haven't put enough infrastructure into cybersecurity across them all.
Mm,
So anything that's on the computer that's
right.
online
Mhm.
is either already hacked or it's hackable. And they haven't put in a lot of things in cybersecurity outside the Pentagon. They just got another $720 million like yesterday.
Ah.
And so, yeah, this is scary.
Yeah, and to amp it up just a little bit more, we'll try to
Mm-hmm.
figure out something lighter after this topic. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the topics that we were going to talk about was that a hacker tried to poison a Florida city's water supply.
Yeah.
So it said authorities say a hacker compromised the system software of a Florida water treatment plant and tried to change the levels of lye from 100 parts per million to 11,000 parts per million.
Boy, this
That high of a
exposes everything.
concentration, lye can damage any human tissue it touches. So once again, it's another cyber attack towards our infrastructure. Do you
Yes.
feel that this is going to be a continuing trend?
Yes, because copycats, everybody wants to hack each other, right? It's hackers, that's the brand. And they do want to expose the government for its falsehoods of not supporting the people. Because you got a lot of hackers that believe, like, yo, the government's fucked up. They take us for all our money. And they're going to take us for our money. We got to expose them for what they are. Use the money for good things. Instead of buying that first class flight from North Carolina back to DC every week, you've put the money towards fixing North Carolina's water supply. So there's a lot of issues, and the beauty of this administration is President Biden knows that there's a lot of jobs to be made in this.
Okay.
There's tons of jobs because a lot of systems you have on our computers, you have to have an actual manual, traditional, old school backdraft to it. When you shut off the gas on a computer, you got to find another system to subvert that and go around that. So you need a manual system that's not on the computer to make it run. You'll take a loss in price of gas and movement and stuff, the price of water, but you have another system that can work.
Okay. Well, our infrastructures definitely need to be looked at. I mean, one of the biggest projects regarding increasing infrastructure was like the New Deal way back
Yeah.
after the Great Depression,
Yeah.
and it seems like this is another great opportunity to have a version of that regarding getting internet up, fixing levees, dams, and
bridges. There's so many things we can do.
telecommunication with the internet. I mean, even increasing the security on some
Yeah.
of the infrastructures.
And
that
this could
connect us to
spur
the
a lot of
internet.
cybersecurity companies to come up with better, stronger solutions and smarter solutions. AI companies. I'm not saying every child has to be an engineer, but there's going to be other mechanisms put in place that people can work on. But traditionally, vocational trades that are not celebrated. There's vocational trades that we need that we don't have infrastructure for. We create all these infrastructure projects around the nation. Do we have enough masons to build everything? Do we have enough people in construction these days? A lot of people work in factories hitting buttons and watching things move down an assembly line with robot support.
Right.
So this could be we could have the golden age of America right now
Yeah.
with a boom in labor. Well, we'll have a shortage of labor because we have so many jobs, and
I
we can
think
start moving
so.
things back to America anyway. So this is a good way to
This
bring
is
it.
a good, yeah, it's a good opportunity, right? Like you can see the potential if we're willing to leap on it. I know we got like one more story, and it's dealing with opportunity one more time, and that is YouTube, man. So YouTube is opening up $100 million fund to pay shorts creators. They're trying to,
Amazing.
yeah, so they're trying to compete with TikTok, and I believe they're trying to compete with Instagram's version of it called Reels. I think that's what it's called on Instagram Reels. $100 million, and listen to this. You don't even have to really be a part of their shorts program per se. You can just be an independent creator and still be involved with the project. This is a beautiful thing. If you're a content creator,
Super
I think
dope.
this is why it's such a great thing to kind of like end on a high note. Yeah, I mean, so like we know some YouTubers, we know people that are just really big content creators in social media in general, and just to see just one more avenue, man, for this art to be expressed.
It brings up creators that didn't have the traditional film school or going through the traditional avenues too, right? Because imagine if somebody comes out a series, 3-minute long series, they have like 7 episodes. That's a proper short film. Imagine if it's compelling. What's up?
Oh, I think I lost you for a second, brother. I think that might have been my internet. I'm sorry
no,
about
that's
that.
my internet. My internet says it's unstable. Can you hear me?
Okay, well, that's the good thing is that we're
Okay.
getting close to the
Yeah.
round. But please finish that thought because I couldn't hear it, man.
Oh yeah, I'm saying. So here it is. We'll have a lot of shorts being made, and we can see quality creators cut their teeth on them. Imagine that person that makes 7 3-minute shorts or 2-minute shorts. They made a short film, and if it's compelling, imagine what happens when you give them a real budget. Where they learn the ropes, because the industry has changed, and we don't want to admit it's changed because we have unions, and unions feel as though they have to put everybody that's a part of the union into a place. But I can get me and 5 of my friends. We can take a mirrorless Sony A7 camera out in the streets with some really good lenses and shoot the hell out of something.
Right.
I have a quality phone in my pocket, and we can shoot the hell out of something. Chop it up on iMovie, put some music behind it, and have a dope little series going on.
Yeah.
It's what Quibi could have been and what Quibi ended up being.
I hear that. I mean, as we've seen from other examples, even from Twitter setting up their payment set up so that the money can get directly to the content creators, to Clubhouse doing it as well. YouTube is jumping in on that. Some of these other social media programs are developing tip systems. It's just a way to get the product out, get people paid a lot quicker, and let the art speak for itself, man. Yeah, it's a good thing, man.
There's been a whole industry of people not being able to participate in filmmaking because they're not in the film epicenters. Now some kid in Wyoming may be the lick. He may be the next George Lucas out here, and we don't know it. And he may bring some plastic figurine toys and do stop motion, and it just blows up. And we're like, yo, Phil Lord and them see him like, yo, bring that kid in as an apprentice.
Yeah.
This is the new avenue. I love the new wave. I love this. This is the new vibe. I love this wavelength.
Yo, I'm feeling it too, man. And I know YouTube already has a system where they have like a direct payment that you could do already. But what separates this project what we're talking about is that it's not just users that's going to pay what they like. The platform itself is anteing up. And more than likely, if YouTube is going to pony up their own money to make this happen, that means more than likely your exposure is going to be increased as well, because they're not just going to put money on there and not get a return on their investment. So yeah, man, it's the platform supporting the artists, and it's also the people that are the Patreons of the content supporting the art. Yo, it's a good opportunity to get paid is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I'm going to link this to another industry. They got this idea from the gaming industry. You have Unreal Engine and you have Unity Engine. And Unreal used to cost money, and Unity was like the first one to say, we're the small dog in the arena. We're going to give our engine away for free. Then Unreal realized the same thing. And then Unreal also realized that for the MetaHuman project, because what they realized, the more people using your tools and being on your platform, the more money you're going to make.
Yeah.
The more money. The Mandalorian would have never happened if Unreal didn't let its platform be free, and they make residual back end after people made so much money on the products they're making. You make a game on Unreal, they said the first 20,000 is yours, the first 200,000 is yours. But what happens when that game makes $1 million? And they're like, oh, you owe us 3%. Oh, you owe us 17%. Oh, you owe us this money. And so it's in their best interest to have you use their tools.
Right.
And so YouTube is probably helping people learn how to use their tools. They're ponying up the money, and it's in their best interest to make great content.
Yeah, I agree, man. Somebody, let's see, RJ approved in the chat just said they are desperate for quality content, and creatives are in demand. I agree. YouTube is like, I have in case you don't know, I have a son that's that's 11 years old, and the vast majority of the content that he watches is YouTube-based content. So I'm not saying he is the absolute litmus test for the youths in their viewing habits, but him and all of his friends are cut from the same cloth regarding that. So there's something to it.
Imagine that your son start making content now. By the time he's 18, he basically has a film degree.
Yeah,
he's ready to go. He's like, yo, I'm about to be Martin Scorsese out here. I'm about to be Martin Scorsese meets Spike Lee. You know, I'm about to do some amazing stuff. I know how to do visual effects off my phone.
Yeah, it's getting to that point, man. I mean,
it's beautiful.
It's crazy now. So I can't even imagine what the space is going to look like even just 5 years from now. It's going to be mind blowing.
And you want to sculpt that talent, right? The music industry didn't have that, so we have a lot of poor music online, but it's popular. And the reason is because a lot of these kids didn't have any mentors pushing them to make amazing stuff. They make stuff to just get out there to get popular. Like, you know, I don't know if the song's good or not, but I'm gonna throw it out there. people love it because it's funny or it's campy or it's something, and they grab onto it. Then they get thrown into these record contract deals with these major labels, and they don't know what to do. It's so above them, and so nobody's
Right.
really properly teaching them the ropes of the industry. They know how to make their craft,
Right.
and then these record labels and stuff manipulate them all the way through. We can't have that for the film and video game industry. We need to teach these people the business and how hard it is to make something really good quality.
You know what? You I agree with that. And then to kind of like tie into what RJ approved has said as
Mm-hmm.
well regarding for the quality of content.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times what can turn me off to YouTube is just that the quality just isn't really there to keep
Mm-hmm.
the same type of attention that my son has. He has a way shorter attention span, so I'm gonna need to be sold in a lot more deep enriching way in order for me to stay on the platform. So, and I think what to me what this sounds like is that YouTube is like, well, listen, if you're going to be a part of this club, this camp that allow you probably quicker access to the funds, we can teach you how to up that quality,
Yeah.
so that if that is going to be the future of the platform, then the quality is going to reach the level of the popularity. Because like Snapchat, and that stuff is cute and funny for the moment, but
Yeah.
the quality level is horrible.
It's
But
like going from the minors to the majors, right?
yeah,
If there's
yeah,
not enough
yeah,
trainers in the minors, you'll never have really strong major league players.
yeah.
And there's only so many people raw talented coming into the pros. They even in basketball they have to go to college, and they get a lot of grooming in those 2 years in college.
Right.
You know,
Well, I
Coach
mean, everything.
Calipari gives them a little bit of grooming for the first 2 years in UK. He's like, yo, you're coming to Kentucky, you're going to the pros, but these first 2 years, do everything I tell you to do, and they do it.
I'm with that, man. There needs to be some
Mm-hmm.
coaching up because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like me and you, we definitely remember the earlier days of YouTube when the lighting was horrible, the sound was off.
Mm-hmm.
There was like the cuts were bad. Like even though I complain about the quality of YouTube, it's
Mm-hmm.
worlds better than it was 10 years ago.
Yep.
So it's definitely growing. Way to get ahead of it, man. We have been like talking. It's
Yeah.
already like 6 minutes after the fact.
6, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go, let's go
we
cut
gotta
it.
wrap this up,
Let's
man.
wrap it up. This is a good thing. So if y'all want to
Hey.
come in, make your own content. If you think you can make content with us, let us know. The Geekish Network is always looking for content creators.
Oh man, and then Court drops a banger on us right before we're about to walk out the door. Let me just read it, and then it'll maybe give somebody
We'll
something to
go
think
3
about.
more minutes. I'm the
3
one
more minutes.
controlling it. We'll go 3 more minutes. Let's
You know
do
what?
it.
Hey, see, this
Let's
this
do it.
this is why you got to
Let's do
get
it.
in
Let's
good
do
with the
it.
boss. This is why you get in good with the boss. You get some extra time. All right, so Court writes. She said, "Do you both have thoughts about Donald Glover's tweets about TV being boring because creators fear cancel culture?" Did you see that tweet that he did?
I have not seen that tweet.
I mean, she
That
she pretty
tweet,
much surmised it right
but
there.
that right there, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I think people fear being daring. People feel
Mhm.
cancel culture, and they feel being canceled. Their show's being canceled,
Right.
and all you need cancel culture cancels your show. Your show's getting canceled. Um, I wonder if today Atlanta that came out 3 years ago will be made today.
Bro, that's a very good question. And what's crazy is 3 years isn't a lot of time,
It is not.
but the temperature of the temperature of the creative space right now has changed dramatically in just those 3 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's a skit that he has. Well, I don't want to go. We'll talk about that later. But yes, I agree with you. I think that let me backtrack again. Okay, so one of the first people that was really complaining the most, one of the first group of entertainers that was complaining the most regarding cancel culture were stand-up comedians, right?
Yep.
And they were saying that in order for them to develop this creative process that they take, they just don't, like the good ones, the professionals, just don't hop up on stage and then just freestyle their comedy. It takes time. It's
Yes.
like they go to these small clubs, test a whole lot of different material
Mm-hmm.
over and
Mm-hmm.
over again, and they'll do some super controversial stuff, some kind of edgy stuff, but they
Mm-hmm.
do that in order to hone the craft, find out what works, and to trim the fat. But due to the fact that um, cancel culture is relevant and people were like getting put on blast in these supposed safe spaces, nobody was willing to be daring enough to take chances
Yeah.
on the comedy. And we kind of have seen a shift regarding like a lot of safer type of comedy.
Yeah.
Do you feel that it is spilling over into television and movies as well?
I definitely think it's spilled over into television and movies. I think music is the most daring by far. Games is a close second. Then television may be a third. Then movies is last. I think comic books are more daring.
I do too.
Prose is just more daring altogether. Because people don't like reading, and sometimes reading takes you way out there. So reading book letters is really good. And I think if you put it in prose first, then translate to a film and television, you can get away with a lot more. Because you can say, "Oh, the source material says this. The source material is this."
Right.
But I think Donald Glover has the thing. I'm looking at the tweet right now. He said, I
Mm-hmm.
saw people on here having a discussion about how tired they were of reviewing boring stuff, TV and film. Then he says, we're getting boring stuff and not even experimental mistakes because people are afraid of getting canceled.
Mm.
And that could be taking the show being canceled, the people being canceled, nobody's being daring. So they feel like they can only experiment with aesthetics,
Right.
which is interesting. Also because of some of them know they're not that good.
Yeah.
Ooh, that shot's fired. Like,
Yeah.
so you make pretty pictures, and you got pretty angles, and you do
Right.
this and you do that, but you're not experimenting with the medium at all. And I think game
Yeah.
still
And
does that well. Go ahead.
I think you got to, you can only sharpen steel with steel, right? Like you got to go out there and be edgy. And you said something that I never really thought about, man. And it's like you take the original content from like the prose or something from the written word, and that's already like the foundation, and then you can go off and like jump off of that and kind of like build something off. Like a perfect example is The Boys. The Boys,
Yes.
the TV show that comes on Amazon Prime. Now, the Amazon Prime version of the show, like people lost their mind because of the gratuitous violence. There was like some sexual themes going on. It was just like really over the top, and like it was like a big deal. But then you could tell the people that never like read the comic. And the comic makes the TV show look like Boy Scouts sitting around a campfire.
Yeah.
Comic is way more
Yeah.
hardcore, but that allowed Amazon Prime's version of it to take those risks and those chances because the core content was already intact.
Yes.
It's already been respected. It's already
Yes.
been vetted. But that kind of like goes off to what I was saying. Like, that content already got its reps. It's already been vetted and proved. If you're a new content creator, you don't have that space.
Yes. Yes.
So you kind of just got to go out there and just see what works. I think that's like one of the brilliant things about Donald Glover's show Atlanta is it's very risky. He takes a lot of chances,
Takes a lot of
and
chances. He made a
but that's what
surrealistic
makes it
show.
good,
It's
though.
surrealistic.
Yeah.
The only thing that show has not fell into is camp and horror. And it kind of does go into horror when he goes into the
little bit.
woods.
Yeah.
Like, that's a scary scene where Paperboy thought he was Paperboy, and remember the kids robbed him.
Yeah.
And they were going to kill him. And he ran into the woods, and he thought he was safe. And he ran into the homeless guy. And the homeless guy was like, nah, homie. You're not safe from him. This is robbing season. And this is how this goes down. And that episode had me scared for Paperboy. I said, we're about to lose Tariq. We're about to lose Paperboy.
Yeah. Yeah, but also like look at the chances that have been taken, like the movie like Get Out. That was a big chance. Like not I'm sure when they put it out, they weren't 100% certain. They was like, we got this idea.
It may
I don't know how it's gonna do.
but it goes into what Kenya Barris said about black creators, right?
Okay.
In Black AF, he says white people are scared to criticize black creators because they just want black creators to create. And Kenya Barris is like, not all this stuff is good. It's okay to call some of our stuff is bad.
Yeah.
But y'all like, well, it's black, and we expect this level from you black people.
Yes.
And that's not what we always hit excellence.
Yeah. Well, but here's
the money
thing,
grab
like
is an excellence for us. We know what excellence is. Me and Randy just had this conversation about excellence because there's a movie property that I'm up here vetting with some friends, and I'm like, do we really want to do this? Do we want to do this way it is? And he was like, it's a good movie. I said, yeah, in 1985, it was a great movie. But 2023, when this thing would probably be destined to have lunch, 2024, this would be a horrible idea to do.
Well, we need content creators in general. You need space to make mistakes. Like a perfect example, if you are a fan of watching Bingeworthy, it's another show that Court is on, Randy, who you just referenced, and me and you were on. And there's like two different camps regarding a film we recently watched called Yasuke. And here's the thing, like there's one camp that thought it was absolutely amazing. They loved the visuals and stuff, and it was a very beautiful movie. And then there's like our camp, who just because it's black content doesn't mean it's going to get the automatic pass. And we really critiqued it hard, because that content needs a space to be
Steel
critiqued
sharpens
like
steels.
Right. And at the end of that, we were still like, yo, we still want to see a second one because we don't want the artist to get like destroyed and never have content again. But
Yeah.
there's some things that you just need to grow, you
First,
know.
there's a lot of elements that go into a series, right?
Right.
The artwork was amazing. We already said that.
Yes.
LaShawn is
Yes.
brilliant. He's super brilliant. He blends all these cultures of animation together.
Right.
And we thought the writing was kind of forced into a low series. We recognize there's a lot of factors. Like, it deserved 13 episodes at minimum. That
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
should have been
Yeah.
longer. Yeah,
I agree.
absolutely.
It felt
I
rushed.
honestly felt like it should need 20-something episodes, as many episodes as Samurai Champloo did, to be a proper story for Yasuke.
Right.
And so it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. And this is what we
Yeah.
want to see. Is like, Hollywood has a tendency to give us one chance, and once we make a major mistake or minor mistake, they
You're done.
cancel us.
And I think
And
that's
then they
what Donald
praise
Glover
us
is
when
kind of
we
hitting towards.
yeah. Then when we do
Yeah.
something amazing, they praise us because they didn't give us the same value as them. Like, people thought that Black Panther was going to fail, so Ryan Coogler didn't get the budget that he rightfully deserved. And then when it blew up, they were like, "Oh my God, it's amazing! All the hurdles we put in your way, and you got past them, and you made amazing art."
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, we didn't have the same film school legacy. You know, you got Brett Ratner, who's been making rap videos since the 80s, the 90s, and he's had every chance in America to fail. Zack Snyder, we just talked about Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder has made pretty art with horrible stories for over a decade, and he still gets the nod. But let me and you come in there and do what Zack Snyder did for Justice League, and they'll bash us into the ground, or they'll say, "Well, they're black, so we'll give them a pass this time, but we're never going to give them another chance. We'll give them a pass, but we'll never give them a chance." And that's two different things.
Well, let me play devil's advocate again. So we can all agree that cancel culture
Yes.
can change the art and really hobble and handicap the art, right? All right. So let's take you gave the example of Zack Snyder. Then let's talk about Joss Whedon. I mean, cancel culture
Yes.
pretty much has him like on the ropes. And to me, in my own humble personal opinion, I think he should be on the ropes because of what he did. But I'm also not going to sit here and tell you that he's not a talented artist. I'm not going to sit there and pretend like the art that I saw that he's done hasn't been good. Not all of it is amazing, but
good.
cancel culture. But cancel culture is more than likely going to reduce the amount of art that we see from this man who rightfully should have everybody's ire. How do you feel about that type of cancel culture?
I mean, it's hard to separate the art from the person, especially when that person's still alive. You know, we can do it for all the Renaissance masters and the Harlem Renaissance. We can separate all their art from the person because we're so many years removed from it. It's hard when somebody today is doing it. And it's interesting because the industry needs overhaul. We know the industry needs an overhaul. You know, Joss Whedon came up in a world where the Weinsteins were dominant and people were scared of Harvey. Men were physically scared of Harvey hitting them in the chance, and he's a big man. He's not a little man. And Harvey walks up on you in a restaurant, you hope to God he doesn't knock your teeth out or smack you. Like
He was like Hollywood Suge Knight, right?
Yeah, he was Suge
He was
Knight.
like that.
He was Suge Knight, you know? And so, and he has so much power and leeway that people, you know, turned, when you're about to get smacked by Harvey Weinstein, this is what people did. Turned their head down until they heard the pop. Then they let it go. So he's from that era, and we need to reform that era. We need to reform the people in that era. Should we cancel Joss Whedon for doing good art? No, we should shame him in doing what he does outside of his art while making his art. And he deserves that shame. And should we penalize him when he cuts up? Yes, we should penalize them. No misfortune should go unpunished when you purposely do it. You know, like my brother purposely kicking me in my chest when I was a kid. My parents spanked him for it. He'd be like, "Mom, Dad, I hit Chuck in the chest on accident with my foot."
Right.
And they were like, "Why'd you kick him?" "I didn't kick him. He slipped into my foot." They hit him in the chest. You know? But there are things that did take chances. Like, I can't speak enough of Random Acts of Flyness on HBO. It is amazing art. It is high art. It is black high art. Random Acts of Flyness. I tell everybody, sketch comedy. It goes into deep black situations and stuff like that. It's interesting to watch. I tell everybody to watch it. Terrence Nance made it, and it's just fluid. It's contemporary art. It is truly, truly art. And what's the show that was on HBO with Kid Cudi in it? They got one season and never let it come back again. I can't think of the show that he made, but it was Entourage in New York. How to Make It in America, right? It got one season. I thought it was a great first season. Never got picked up again. But they gave me 5 seasons of Girls.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, it's just, if you're in certain groups, you just can't make any mistakes, man. You got to be flawless, and if you got to be
Donna
flawless,
Glover says
then,
that.
yeah. Court said something else that's interesting. She said, Josh will be fine. He'll get a proxy to bring out his properties, just like he's still involved with the Nevers, just not in the driver's seat anymore. And the Nevers is a really good example because you feel some kind of way about Josh, but I watched the Nevers and I'm thoroughly entertained. I mean, I'm like, this is good storytelling, but you just still have that bad taste in the back of your mouth.
You do. Because you know, the Dukes of Hazzard, I still love that TV show, but as an adult, it has a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
You know,
I used to watch it too, man.
We all did. It was an amazing show. Don't talk bad about Dukes of Hazzard.
That boy used to hit them jumps, boy. Yo, that's crazy. I used to love that show as a kid.
You know, there's a lot of things we love. It's not embarrassing because we're from a bygone era, right? Like Michael Che got beat up about that Saturday Night Live skit that we played with yesterday.
Which was great to me.
It was great. It was great. But he's the new whipping boy, and he takes chances. He has a show with that damn Michael Che, right? Is it good? No. But is it interesting? Yes. I'm on episode 3. Like, this is interesting. I respect him doing this show. Right. You know? I think his stand-up is hilarious because he makes you stop provoking stand-up.
Yeah.
You know? His skits are okay. He writes really well, but you know, this shows he's trying to do too much in this show. I think he has to find his footing in that. But he has big shoes to fill, right? Chappelle is hard to beat on any sketch show.
Yeah, I mean, he's Mount Rushmore, man. So that's real tough. You know? Hey, man, I think that's actually a really good spot, man. Yeah, because we're definitely going over. Hey, boss, thank you. Get you work with a cool boss, man. I got a really dope ass boss. The Black Lion, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I love what we do.
I think this is a good conversation. We have people here, and I know we have no show after this, so let's run it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's gonna conclude this new segment of our show. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to Digital Click for all the creatives you provide. I know I go on and on about Digital Click.
Yeah, they're amazing.
And I want to give support because what they give is quality. You know, you can see on the screen what's going on. If you want that same type of quality, please give them a ring, schedule an appointment. You know, whatever it is you got to do because you know it's going to be on the money. Chef's kiss. All right, so please follow us here on Twitch, and if you love what we're doing, please consider subscribing to the channel. A bigger thing is that please word of mouth. Tell people, you know, if you want to just sit here and enjoy just, you know, 2 random nerd geeky ass dudes that just love talking shit about geek shit. This is for you. This is for us.
2 dudes and a woman. She's not here. She'll be here tomorrow.
Oh yes, and absolutely. Oh, an absolute a hat tip to Summer Punch.
She makes the show very interesting. She brings so much energy. I love
she brings a wonderful energy. If you have not seen her, you will get the biggest kick out.
They get 2 old men with us. With Summer, we get beautiful energy. Just this Summer. She literally brings summer into our show.
Exactly. So that just gives you more reason to come check us out. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link your account and sub with us using your Prime Gaming, and it costs you absolutely nothing, but it helps us out tremendously. Check us out tomorrow because next week is for me. I mean, not next week, but tomorrow is one of my all-time favorites. Of course, Bingeworthy.
Yes,
it's going to be us again, Court, where we just binge out a season of content and let you know how we really feel about it. Yo, if you want some good stuff, check out the one we did on Yasuke. It's really good. You're gonna get a really good opinion. And it's going to be something thought-provoking. Other than that, man, you know, you got to come check us out tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. I doubt it's going to be an hour-long show like this one was. But, this is what happens when you got a dope-ass boss. Yo, I'm going to hand it off to the Black Lion so you can go ahead and say your last 2 cents, my guy.
Okay.
This is Syntell. Handing it over to you, Black Lion.
You know, peace out. God bless.
All right, man. Y'all stay up.